here lately. Checking to see.
We are a go.
We got action.
We've got action.
I don't see it on my end yet. I'll share it later. Let me make sure I turn mine all the way down. All righty. We don't own a bit of music. Sit back, enjoy a little bit by our guys, Mr. Buddy Rowe and Audio Black, aka Black Jackson.
Welcome to the Perspective 217.
Indeed.
You're tuned in to Hits 107.3. No one knows hits like we do.
Oh. I brought you something close. That is something you nothing to but believe. Just believe, yeah. Enough to music. There's still a lot to believe in out here. The nigga doing good for his first assignment. Yeah, a little bit late, but it's perfect timing. Said you got it bad for this, but you not as worse as I am. Like diamond in the rough to a perfect shining. Just adding muscle to this track, you know, working iron. Besides, the track is already fat, but the work that I am putting on it like a tornado, do not avoid the sirens. I'm the realest to a tiger, and that's no lying. Yeah, started with the dream and a humble beginning. By any means, scheme through the seams that come from pretending. But only if the situation asks for it, and for that cash for it, a nigga would blast for it. Lot of advice in the room, but there are no tips on how to handle this weight. Moving like the cargo ship. For that money and fame, the nigga just wanna achieve. But my conscience telling me, when are you gonna believe? You can make it if you try. You're reaching for the sky. You won't second assignment, put perspective back in alignment. But I got a chopper for those thinking defiant. Hit up a few niggas that we formed an alliance. Spending years with this money and drugs come from the tyrant. You see how we kingpinning and beat spinning on that whip, yeah, them fiends grinning. They on my tip, haters catch a clip on how we winning. Look at how we pray to God, yet it's still we sinning. I'm the coldest with a bustin', never selling out. You couldn't see me on that pad, no. Road to destruction. It's just the enemy speaking out, and I can see my enemies how they take me out. You know they clinching on every line that I speak about. They clicking me every time that I'm reaching out. My conscience is telling me if you real about it. You do it, my nigga, that's how you feel about it. You can make it if you try. You're reaching for the sky, yeah. You won't be denied. I struggle with the pain, see that. Never been ashamed of the feedback. Money and the fame, yeah, I need that. Told me they digging my shit, I believe that. Dare to believe no matter what it seems. Head to the sky, reaching for the dream. Spread your wings and fly, soar too high. That's why I'm reading through this Bible, trying to get my thoughts together. Mine is in the winter, but chilling in the August weather. Pieces to this puzzle, I gotta put it all together. So I keep my eyes straight, flawless letter. Until then, we gotta endure this pain until all is better. I'm trying to fly like the bird, with all its feathers. Beyond the sky, that's my word. If you all have ever believe there's something, baby, believe forever. Reaching for the sky. Joint so fresh, you gotta Shazam it. Loud and clear. It's powered 102 jam.
It's all perspective. When perception comes to truth, respecting you won't lose. Right or wrong, it's what you chose. Perspective. It's just the point of view, the odds and the outcome, based on how you move. It's all perspective. When perception comes to truth, respecting you won't lose. Right or wrong, it's what you choose. Perspective. It's just the point of view, the odds and the outcome, based on how you move.
What he say, Kel? The odds, and the outcome based on how who
How
move?
you move.
How you move, not how they move, but how you move.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to Perspective 217. We're back in the building on this nice, fine Thursday evening. It is November 18th of 2021.
Man, this year is
already.
come on, bro. It's November 18th. This is crazy. 2021, man.
Man, it's almost over. I remember when 2020, I mean, it just felt like 2020 just started.
Yes,
But
sir.
we lost a year. You know what I mean? We all know how we lost a year.
Facts.
Right?
Facts.
That big C word that end with a 9.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That joker right there,
Yeah,
boy.
that thing that run together. That word with a hyphen and that number behind it. Yeah.
That number behind it, man. That's that man. That thing took a year off this man. But yeah, we definitely happy to be back in the building. I really like that joint, Kel. So tell us a little bit more about the artists, and I mean, of course, I know them, but you know, some of our listening audience aren't going to know who they are.
Yeah, man. You know, that's for us, man. That's family, man. For the globe out there, man. That's Buddy Rowe, Black Jackson, as I call him. You know, now he's Audio Black, man. Two of the family, man. That's that we've been rocking with since our Infinite Soul Entertainment days, man. That track right there is called Believe. You know, Buddy Rowe is the main lyricist on it with Audio Black bringing in the hook, man. So it's a beautiful combination of seasoned MC / rapping skills with, you know, just the perfect blend of harmony and soul on top of that track, man. NFK.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, shout out to Buddy Rowe.
Absolutely.
And right now, man, that's I ain't gonna give his government names. You know, I'm bad about giving people's governments because I know everybody's in. But
got that work.
I just say Mr. Mosley, Mr. About That Work himself, right?
Yes, sir. And we need some of that. We need some of that gear around this. Now I know you got some of that gear, Pete. You know what I'm saying? You've been able to maneuver in them Wichita areas. You know what I'm saying? But a brother like myself, you know, I need some of that roll. I need a tee or a hat or a hoodie or something, man. You know, just
I need a little bit more of it.
Yeah,
right?
slide something on your boy one time.
Yeah. You know, hey, we rock it too. So, Kel, man, how your week been?
Busy, bro. Busy. You know, it's one of those situations, man, where you think because of the seasons are changing. You know, we're kind of coming to the final weeks of 2021, man, where things will be kind of calming down, but absolutely not. You know, you think because of that word with the hyphen, with the number behind it, would kind of dictate some things. Nah, not really, man. You know, things are still moving, man. But you know, it's kind of what it is, man. You know, we are kind of full blown as is rolling into, I guess, people kind of coming out of that hibernation, cabin fever situation, man. So now, it's just kind of the reality, man. There's so much is going on, man. Just for the people out here, man, that know, man. We just lost another entertainer. Another king, man. Young Dolph down in Memphis, man.
In his
Brother was
own
going to go
area.
get some cookies. You know what I'm saying? At one of the black owned businesses down there. I want to say the young lady's name is Makenda or Makita. I could be wrong. If I say that name wrong, please somebody jump in the comments and let me know. But definitely want to give her a shout out for her cookie store, man, where he frequents. I want to say like several days before that, man, he was there giving away turkeys and stuff, doing stuff positive in the community. And he goes there to get, his favorite cookie, man, in the store, man. He gets gunned down by two men, man. So definitely a tragedy, definitely a loss for the hip hop and rap world, man. And again, another senseless murder or homicide, man, in the streets, man. And so, we want to send our prayers to his family, man, and just the whole city of Memphis, man, because I heard it got pretty chaotic down there as far as, I guess what the underground, the underline of what really went on as far as, people click and all that stuff. And we're not going to talk really too much about it because I don't know a lot about it myself, but, just kind of hearing things, man, it's kind of a situation that just keep trickling on, man. But, just be safe out here, y'all. Lot of big business things happening, man, and conversation stuff, man. So otherwise than that, brother, 10 toes down, man. Let's keep this thing rolling.
Absolutely, man. So, we talk a lot about community, Kale. Whether it be community and police, community and mental health, community and ducks in the street, right? I mean, we talk a lot about community. So, and it doesn't necessarily matter which community.
Right.
You're in the Central Illinois community right now, and I'm in the Oklahoma City community. And one of the things that's been a real big topic here, and been on a lot of people's hearts and minds, and they're pulling on their emotions, is this Julius Jones ordeal that's going on. Are you familiar with that?
Is that the brother that's been incarcerated for 2-3 decades, man, and finally got clemency or something like that?
Well, yeah, because 2 hours ago, 2 hours 13 minutes ago, if they would not have, if this governor Sticks or Spitz or whatever his name is, I'm not a big, but if he wouldn't have finally decided at around, it was probably around noon, 11:30 or so today, waited to the last, man, when I talk about the witching hour, waited to the last hour after he had already had his last meal, already, had been confined to where he had no more calls. When you getting put to death.
Yeah, this brother's on death row, right?
Yeah,
This brother's on death row on his way, right? Last hour is what you're talking about, right?
it was supposed to happen today at 4:00 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's how close it got for him getting the lethal injections.
Wow.
Right. And he got to stay. He got clemency. Now, when I think of clemency, I think of something being wiped out. Right. Clemency is being wiped away, kind of wiped clean. This wasn't necessarily that type of clemency. This was to change from the death sentence to life without the possibility of parole, which is a positive because you're still alive to fight, for your freedom.
Right.
Because if after 4:00 today, if he wouldn't have got that, there's no more fighting for his freedom. Now you're trying to fight for what's right after the fact, and he's already gone. Right, the price has been paid.
Right.
But and a lot of people are upset about that. They feel like, okay, well, he should have been just let out of prison. It shouldn't even been, life without possibility of parole. But that is a step, right? I understand it's not what people wanted, what people was asking for, but it's better than him being gone and now you can't come back and fight the fight anymore.
Right. And so to help, I guess, the viewers and listeners as well as myself, from my understanding, he was on death row because he was charged with a crime. I believe it was murder or something. Is that correct?
Yep.
And so they found him to be, after many decades of them finding out that he was an innocent man, correct?
Well, that hasn't been proven.
Okay.
No.
So they're still in the process of, I guess, trying to prove his innocence.
Correct.
Okay.
Since there's a doubt, since there's a question,
Yeah.
the fight was that he doesn't deserve to die since there is a question,
Right.
And it's this other guy named Chris or somebody that I believe when they did the when the only eyewitness presented the description, it was a black male, of course,
Mm-hmm.
with a scully on, with about 2 inches or an inch of hair hanging out the back, right? Which, when you look at his booking photo, he had a 1/4 inch even Steven.
Mm.
For those who don't know what an even Steven is, it's just a haircut with no fade, right? It's not a ball fade, it's not a taper fade. It's just kind of all the same, but it was about a 1/4 inch.
Yeah.
You're not going to get 2 inches of hair out of a 1/4 inch of hair coming out of a scully, because actually, nothing's going to come out the scully,
Right.
That's one of the things that brings the issue up. And the other person had braids that came out about 2 inches, right? That if you had a scully on, and so his photo, the other person's photo, was taken a few days before the incident, arrested for something else, and then released before the incident. And then Jones's photo was taken, after the incident, like 5 days after the incident, right? So there is a question on whether Jones actually committed this crime, and they believe that this other person committed this crime, but he said that Jones did it, when he was arrested.
Right.
So, it's kind of like, the system, bro. I mean, sometimes,
It's he say, she say, and we don't have enough information to say whether one side is more credible than the other.
Right. And especially back then.
Yeah.
Where there was the cameras weren't around,
Right.
You didn't really have other means of verifying information. People's statements were, if you didn't have the smoking gun,
right,
people's statements were the smoking gun.
Right.
And that's kind of what put him into that situation. From everything that I understand. Now,
right.
I wasn't the arresting officer. I wasn't the prosecuting attorney. I wasn't the defending attorney. I wasn't the judge either.
Right.
But from everything I understand from listening and researching and things that I've seen, that's kind of sums up what occurred. There's a lot more, but that's the synopsis of it.
Yeah. Yeah. What's that brother name? What's Julius
Jones.
Julius Jones, man. So what we do here, man, at Perspective, we see situations like this, and of course, people ask us, and kind of how we feel, man. And so we try to bring kind of thoughtful experience and knowledge of what we think, and and kind of give I guess a totality of the situation, being that A, one, we're not the arresting officers, B, we weren't there, C, we don't have we don't have access to those all that pertinent information. So what we try to do is give our perspective, 217, of those scenarios or those incidents, man, to kind of give someone you all a better understanding of kind of what may or may not happen. So that's kind of what our spiel is on that.
So, there's reasonable doubt. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
you're gonna put somebody to death with
Yeah,
reasonable doubt.
yeah. You got to 100%. It is, through all those jurors, man. You got to be reasonable. Everybody's like, yes. If that's that one person says, you know what, you got to put the brakes on.
Yeah, man. I mean,
You
don't
know,
give the person a needle, man. I mean, because I mean, we know throughout our history that there's been some innocent people that been incarcerated um,
true indeed.
due to either some missing information, wrong place, wrong time. I mean, there's a thousand different scenarios, but our goal with the perspective is to try to keep everybody, for one, out of harm's way as much as we can,
Absolutely.
through information, um, through perspectives,
Hmm.
our perspective, um, based on our experience, training experience, and life experience, right? So, Kale, so man, so that's not the only thing that's going on in our country right now. What's something else that's going on that's a hot topic right now?
Man, it seems like every hour, man, is something. But I guess the two that definitely has been on mainstream TV, man, for probably the last week or so is the Rittenhouse trial and the Ahmaud Arbery trial. Of course, everybody knows. Well, if you don't know, I'll give you a little kind of a little information on about Kyle Rittenhouse. He was the 17-year-old at that time who basically took it upon himself with his mom to travel from the state of Illinois over to the state of Wisconsin, uh, while arming himself with an AR rifle, to go to Wisconsin and protect, I believe it was a car dealership or somebody's property that he didn't know. And so, with that being said, man, I think we need to talk a little bit about that. Not so much about the case itself, because again, we're not prosecutors, we're not defense
Right.
attorneys, we're definitely not judges, but we understand the law, Illinois law, Missouri law, Kansas law.
Right.
We definitely have knowledge about that, but when this hearing, this court hearing is being played out in front of the nation, the globe, and you hear certain aspects of the court case, it makes you scratch your head. No, let me scratch it. It makes you throw your damn hat off your head if you wearing a hat. It makes you scratch your wig if your wig ain't put on tight. It makes you scratch your head if you got them newfound braids or micro braids,
Right.
or plaits or whatever, or you got a low season, man. It just makes you scratch your head, period, bro, about kind of how this all has played out. Now, I'm going to give you the facts. I'm not going to make any of this stuff up. Here at the Perspective, we're going to give you information that we know that we've either discovered through media or reading. So I'm not going to make stuff up here. I'm just going on what I heard and what I've read. And if I'm wrong, please, people, if you're rocking with us live, please chime in, and correct me, because like I said, I'm not a prosecutor. We're not defense attorneys. We're not judges. We're not jurors. But all we are two black men that come from law enforcement experience. And so when we see stuff like this, we gotta address it, for one. So first issue that I have, a
Hmm.
17-year-old,
Right.
right? A 17-year-old, I don't care what state you're in. If you're in the United States, whether you're from the West Coast, East Coast, North or South, if you are under the age of 18, you are a juvenile. You are a minor. Okay,
Yeah.
that means that you don't have any, you don't have no say so in anything because you are a juvenile or a minor. Okay, anything that happens out here in these streets or school or whatever, your parents, your legal guardian, your foster parents are legally, um, your representative. You know, they whatever you do, they have to take basically the onus of your actions.
They
True or
should.
false, Pete?
They should, right? You know what I mean? Now we've seen that, you know, depending on um, what family you come from or your financial status, um, there may be some lenience, wiggle room there.
But the law, we're going to talk just about the
What
law.
the law
The
says,
law is saying if you are under the age of 18,
mm-hmm,
you are categorized as a juvenile or
mm-hmm,
a minor because of the fact that you're young. You're young. You don't own nothing. You don't have a pot to pee in, and so your family, whether it be your parents, whether it be your foster, whether you're adopted, whatever, they are legally responsible for you at that time. Okay, so let's address that one. This is a 17-year-old kid that takes it upon himself, kind of with the aid of his mother, because let's just be honest. How are you as a 17-year-old going to be able to get to another state right now? Hey,
he could have drove.
he could have drove, with a permit or maybe an early license. I don't know.
17,
Maybe he got it. Maybe he got a trust fund or something. To help finance him, or he got a nice little birthday gift or something that it kind of helped finance his travels to Wisconsin, right?
right,
But that was not
the case.
presented in court. The court basically stated that he went from Illinois to Wisconsin by the means of his mother.
Yes,
All right. So
yes.
that's number one.
Mm-hmm.
Second part, he obtained a 17-year-old boy, juvenile, minor, obtained a AR style rifle. Okay. This is a weapon that is used in war. This is a weapon that you have to, and depending on what state you are, you have to have some kind of gun card or something to obtain, or you have to be in the military, or you gotta be of age. That let's just put it in.
It is the civilian model or equivalent of the M16, which is the military assault rifle.
And that's from a military veteran that's speaking right there. Okay, so we're not just talking just to be talking. This is a military veteran that's telling you what the classification of style rifle that is. Okay, so 17-year-old minor cross the state line. He obtains an AR rifle. I don't know if that was through mom or whoever. At this point, I don't really care who or how he got it, because it's against the law, period, for a 17-year-old to arm himself. So after he crosses the state line and he gets dropped off,
Mm-hmm.
he is armed, walking the streets of Wisconsin. Right?
Right.
Now, there was a curfew that was put out because of there was some there was some protesting, there was some rioting. It was a little chaotic in Wisconsin because of the shooting of Mr. Blake. So it was uproar. Nobody's trying to say it wasn't, but it was. Right. There was some uproar because of the circumstances of that shooting by a police officer to Mr. Blake. So, with that being said, there was I believe it was a citywide mandate for as a curfew. I don't know if it had been lifted, but from the last thing I heard, there was a curfew that was put on because of the unrest that was going on in that city. Right.
Here's the, and let me pause right quick. So
yes, sir.
Just to talk about the traveling with his mother taking him to that location with a assault rifle, which traditionally is not really a self-defense weapon, because if you fire a 223 round or 5.57 round, you know what I mean? It's not going to stop at your target unless you're shooting at a 4. You know, now I'm not an expert on that, how much it would take to stop it, but a door is not going to stop it. A
No, sir.
body most likely is not going to stop it unless
No,
it's
sir.
just right. You know, self-defense weapons are more, you know, of the handguns with the self-defense type bullets. Shotguns, even though, you know, shotguns can do major damage, they generally stop where they hit, unless you're shooting those, you know, those slug boys that they're gonna cause some issues, right? But that's why shotguns, because of the pellets and the you know, it's more of a to stop whatever's right in front of you weapon.
Right.
The assault rifle is for assault. You're either hunting deer, hunting, you know what I mean, some other type of large animal. I mean, bro, if you shooting a rabbit
with an AR,
AR-15,
I hope you're not hunting for no meat, because you ain't gonna have no meat after that impact.
Shooting to destroy, right? I mean, you know, you shoot generally 22s and things like that, you know what I mean, when you're hunting like small prey like that. But the larger ones, you know, you can use those AR-15 because it's going to hit, and, you know, it may stop, it may not, but whatever's behind it, you know what I mean, hopefully you've checked, you know what I mean, and the people who are out there hunting as well are wearing bright clothing so you could see them, right? You know what I mean? That's why people are like, oh man, that's my right to have it. Well, that's because you want to hunt those type of prey, not people. I understand. I understand the people of Wisconsin protecting their businesses. The major issue I have with this whole situation is, why did you go from Illinois to another state to try to protect somebody else, unless it was your aunt, uncle, father that left your mama and you still like your daddy, you know what I mean, going there for that.
And that wasn't the case, because he didn't know nobody in Wisconsin.
Nobody there. Why are you going to another state when it's the law enforcement, the government, military, you know what I mean, whatever, National Guard, you know, reserve, whatever is coming in that has the authority with the training, hopefully, to go in and protect this property that you went to go protect.
I like what you said right there, bro. The authority.
That is not your job. So he was wrong there. Now, of course, they want to say whether it was illegal or not. He was wrong. But was it illegal? It is what we're fighting right now.
Right.
In his case, he was wrong. He had no business doing it. But was it illegal? It's kind of where. So I wanted to say that before you got too far into it, because you was touching so good on the travel part, the mom and the weapon, and now we're back to where you were.
Yeah, and you know that. So you know, last that I heard, he is up against 5 felonies. You know, of course, murder, which he claims is self-defense, and then of course, you know, the gun situation. Well, the judge just threw away the weapons charge.
That's gone
for a minor, which I just don't understand it. I mean, how is it that a 17-year-old at that time, because he was 17, traveled across state lines, armed with an AR rifle illegally? How is a weapons charge thrown out? I mean, come on, you know. So on top of that, you know, looking at the trial and you know, kind of them breaking down prosecution and defense, and again, we're not here to talk about, you know, strategies of the prosecutor and the defense attorneys or anything like that. But it's just it's very frustrating uh, being law enforcement, to sit back and watch this judge Bruce Schroeder, who was a long-standing judge in Wisconsin, and apparently his track record is I mean, it's pretty. I'll leave it as interesting to say the least. Interesting in the fact that he's been kind of one-sided from, it seems like, his whole tour of being a judge, and so some of the things and some of the images and some of the things he said during this court case have been, I think my mom used the word farce. A lot of people on social media are using farce.
Of course, right.
As far as the judge's behavior, statements, and actions in the courtroom. I think I seen a picture the other day where Rittenhouse, the kid, was standing behind the judge.
I saw that too. I didn't.
Yeah, I don't ever recall being in court or any other proceedings when it comes to a high case hearing where you are literally a foot and a half away from the judge. Like, where did they do that at? You know what I'm saying? So it just kind of shows you, man, that with everything that's been presented, and I know, I'm not saying anything about the prosecution, because like I said, that's not who we represent, and they're not perfect either. But from what the storyline has been, what has been presented in court, what he is claiming, this Rittenhouse kid, as far as being self-defense and him fearing for his life, because he basically brandished this AR on multiple people. And so I mean, let's just be 1,000, man. Somebody pull out a gun on you, man. I mean, what is your reaction going to be? That's the threat.
Right.
That's the threat. I don't care.
Ready to go.
I don't care if it's a BB gun. You know what I'm saying? You don't have time to sit and believe if that's real or not. I mean, right. You brandish a gun, man, and point it at somebody. I mean, and we're talking about a rifle. We're talking about an assault rifle that shoots that's going to shoot 30 rounds under a minute. So you leave Illinois, you get in the car, you and your mom, you drive across state lines, you arm yourself with a rifle, and you're walking through the street, knowing that it's a hostile environment, and you're saying you're there to protect property that is not yours. You're not related to anybody that's in Wisconsin, because you feel like you're a hero or a vigilante or whatever, I don't know, and then you wind up, because you are kind of the little kid on the block, so to speak. People see you more or less are kind of flexing with this rifle, and then you get into a situation where people are approaching you, and then your ending result of your behavior winds up killing 2 people and injuring a third.
That if they, because his mama's involved in this too, if they would have chose different, the odds and the outcome based on what?
How they move.
If they wouldn't have put themselves in that situation, he would have never felt threatened. That was not your job. Why did you go? Now, here's another thing, Kel. I mean, we got to look at the perspectives.
Yes, sir.
Some people would believe that it was because of the people who were rioting and the people who were committing violence, that the young cat had a right to go. He was a hero because he chose to go stand, and then he stopped 2 people from doing whatever they were doing. I don't know what the 2 people was involved in, but there's some people out there, and I'm not saying this judge is one of them, but that believe that he did the right moral thing, even though I have no I do not believe at all that he had no business going. From a law enforcement standpoint, you committed several illegal acts.
Agreed.
Whether it was right or wrong. If I go out there and drive drunk because I need to go pick my son up because somebody he's in an area and he's scared, I get pulled over, I get in a wreck because I'm drunk. Somebody get hurt, but I'm going to pick my son up to help him.
Mm-hmm.
Who's wrong? Not my son.
Right.
I'm still wrong because I chose to go out there knowing that I shouldn't be going out there. I should have sent his butt a lift.
Right.
But instead, I chose to go out there intoxicated, put myself in a situation that I shouldn't have been in, and now somebody's dead because I got behind the wheel because I made the wrong choice. He made the wrong choice.
Agreed.
But can he be convicted for that wrong choice?
Yeah, and that's going to be the $1 million question, bro. It's and again, this is why there's there are laws and there are things in place because of if you're under the age of 18, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to talk about anatomy and all that stuff, but I mean anybody can Google this and whatever, but you don't really fully get a fully developed brain, until you're probably in your early 20s, mid 20s. Some people's later than that.
Yeah.
So you're talking about a 17-year-old, because I guarantee you this. He's had some kind of training or some familiarness with that rifle. Not
absolutely
because you just the average person just doesn't pick up an AR rifle and just like I'm going to sling it and then walk down unfamiliar streets.
I'm sure he's been hunting. He's probably been to the range, which that part is not illegal.
Correct.
Because you can have a FOID card, I think at 16, or at least it used to be, because my oldest had one way back then.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it expired, and then he went and got another one later. But it's still he couldn't go buy the weapons, right? He wasn't supposed to, especially he wasn't supposed to be going out carrying the weapon and taking it nowhere.
Yeah,
right. You know what I mean? It was to. I don't know why they let him have a FOID card. To be honest, now that I'm thinking about it.
I mean, and again, there's so many circumstances, bro. There's so many questionable circumstances to this particular case. And again, yes, he made the wrong decisions and the wrong choices with his mother basically supporting him, which Cuzzo Brees said this, man. There's no way a responsible parent would have ever agreed to be a part of this for their child. That's the first mistake. So we're understanding that that parenthood situation that's supposed to be there. I don't know. I'm not here to judge anybody, but if your 17-year-old is out here doing whatever they do, you're responsible for his actions, his or her actions. Then clearly she wasn't. She either was on either side. Either she didn't care or whatever. And I'm not here to make that judgment because she's not here to defend herself of what'll happen here. So I don't want to go down that lane. But yeah. So so now we're at this case, this trial, man. And so seeing that this judge seeing that this judge is man, the way that this judge is conducting himself in his court, man, is odd. It's strange, man. It's very unbecoming of a judge, to say the least.
I want to clarify.
Yes, sir.
I was wrong. It had to be something else that he had because at one point it was 18 to have a Ford car,
Mm-hmm.
and now it's 21.
Yeah, because I think they just recently changed it here. Was it the last year or two or something?
Yeah, I just that's what I was looking up while I was looking all crazy at the screen.
Okay.
It was it had to be something else that he got that he had younger. Maybe it was a passport. And I'm getting confused. That Bartesian's a monster. So the the so first off, he shouldn't have had it on by itself at 17 because you'd be 18 to possess a shotgun or a rifle.
Mm-hmm.
18, not 17, but 18 to possess a shotgun or a rifle.
There's that magic number again.
Right? He wasn't there. So why did he have? He wasn't supposed to have it in any. Leaving from Illinois. Now I don't know what Wisconsin is, but I'll find out. But he shouldn't have had it. Now his mom, they're probably saying, well, she was there, so she was in possession of the rifle and transported it, across states. If she had a valid FOIA car, you know what I mean. I don't know what their arguments are,
Mm-hmm.
but for some reason, as you stated earlier, they threw the weapons charge out.
For some magical rhyme or reason why that happened, because we have seen, history has shown that in other circumstances that there have been no leeway, no forgiveness for making wrong decisions as being 16, 17-year-olds. So why is this situation different? So I'll leave that out there for the universe, for y'all to grab and to chew on and to research and we'll leave it at that, because like I said, here at the Perspective 217, we're no judges, we're no defense attorneys, we're not prosecutors. We're just two brothers that come from law enforcement experience, a lot of it. And so when things look out of place, we like to give our perspective and our input or 2 cents to it. So
okay, so Kel, it's a trip. So Wisconsin law provides that for hunting purposes,
hunting,
yes, the HUNTING,
okay,
hunting purposes, the minimum age for possession or control of a firearm is age 12.
hunting.
A person age 12 but under the age of 14 may not hunt without being accompanied by his or her parent, guardian, or a person at least 18 years of age who is designated by the parent or guardian. There's that 18 age again.
Yeah. I don't recall mom hopping out the car, man, and walking down the street with him when he was strapped.
Hold on. But for hunting purposes.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Like
hunting
and walking down the streets with your rifle slung.
Other human beings.
Okay.
Hunting does not entail other human beings.
It definitely should not be in 2021. That's for sure. I digress.
Yes,
I digress.
Say that again. So, man, so we don't know what the outcome of that one's going to be.
Right. Stay tuned, people.
We don't know what the outcome of that's going to be. I do not. I think if he had more son, we could pretty much determine what the outcome is going to be.
And you ain't talking about son as kid. You talking about son as that melon type stuff.
I'm talking about if he had more melanin in his life, bro. I'm talking about if he was a black 17-year-old, an African American, a Mexican, a Indian, a Arabian. If he was anything other than what he is right now, I believe the circumstances would be different. I wish I didn't have to feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
I wish there was evidence to tell me that is not factual.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody prove me wrong. You know what I mean? There's too many cases where the circumstances do not play out the same way. Even though the scenarios are almost exactly the same.
Facts.
It wouldn't be that high of a profile, for one, because it would be considered minority on minority crime,
Mm-hmm.
which the value goes down in the media.
Yeah, I mean, you know, look, we could probably talk about this about 4 hours, bro. You know, it's the who, what, when, where, why. It's just not adding up all the way around this board for this particular trial. So I don't know, man. You know, you could just get exhausted just by thinking about kind of how this thing started, how it ended, and where we at as far as the actual judicial process. It's just been odd and unbecoming from the jump. And so I guess I'll segue from that, because not only is this trial full-fledged moving forward, but there's another trial of Mr. Ahmaud Arbery, the young man that was jogging, that was basically targeted and tracked down by 3 guys in the Georgia area, where they basically struck him with the pickup truck and ultimately shot him with a shotgun. And so they're claiming self-defense in this trial, which, again, here we are, 2021.
Right.
Not a minor, but an adult.
Right.
Because I believe Mr. Arbery was in his 20s, right. 25, 26, somewhere there. He's jogging. And he's basically targeted by 3 older men who took it upon themselves to allegedly conduct a citizen's arrest. Again, we started this program talking about people who have the authority, right? Law enforcement, military, you know, sheriff, you know, specialized units, whatever.
Right.
The authority
on your property, you have the authority to do certain things.
Correct. On your property, if somebody's on your property and they are, you know, they are doing those things when they're trying to enter and all that, absolutely, that is your constitutional right.
Mm-hmm.
But on a road where he's jogging, and you and your buddies, or you and your brother and your dad, take it upon yourself to get in a vehicle, chase this man, run him down, present a shotgun,
accost him.
You know what I'm saying? And then you have the nerve to come and say that you feared for your life because you felt that you were being overpowered because you brought the gun to the fight.
You shouldn't have been there in the first place. If you had an issue with what he's doing, if he's a suspicious individual, call the police.
There are people that do that. There is a professional agency that does that. Maybe Maybe the state of Georgia doesn't know that. I'm not trying to take any shots at Georgia, but I'm
I
sure
love certain places in Georgia.
I do too. I do too.
Certain places, but it's there are systems. I mean, the system is not perfect, right? And we've been talking about things today that why the system is not perfect. And now there's a lot of great individuals that work within this system that's doing their job.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them. But the system sometimes fails. And this is kind of what we're talking about. There are laws still on the books that are failing our 21st century community
Agreed.
because they was written so long ago and have never been taken off the books or amended that are harming our 21st century communities. The communities are not set up the way they were when these laws were written. We have to address those, Kale. And of course, this is our perspective, right? We're
Right.
not here to try to, play politics.
Facts.
We don't get into politics.
Right.
But our perspective is real on both sides.
I agree.
You know what I mean? I love law enforcement.
Yeah.
Hands down. Right? Now, I love most of the people that's in there. There's some I don't like that I know, right? You know what I mean? I'm gonna be real with you. Just some I don't like, right? That
Yeah.
if we was on equal ground, I'd probably knock teeth out.
It'd be
You
like
know what I
that.
mean?
Yeah.
But the profession as a whole is honorable, and I love it. You know what I mean? I know state's attorneys, several of them, that are excellent state's attorneys, and they mean well. They're
Yeah.
there to do a job. I know judges that are there to do a job. I know defense attorneys that are there to do a job, but they're also real good and getting people out of jail that need to be in jail.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You know what I mean? So does that make them a bad person? No, it just means that they're out there getting that money and they got good at what they did. They
Right.
found loopholes in this system that is not 21st century community adaptive right now. And now I digress, Kale.
I mean, you spot on, bro. I mean, we for the Constitution, man, that was written back in those days. There's been amendments, but like you said, man, a lot of that stuff is outdated, bro. I mean, you and we don't talk politics here, but if I can dive in for a second, if you are a politician and you are supposed to work for the people,
Right.
and there is a segment of people that are not benefiting from how the Constitution was structured, then you need to dive into that to mend it, to correct it, to fix it. And that hasn't happened here in 2021, going into 2022. And until those laws are changed, where somebody who was elected or appointed can go in and say, listen, my job, my duty is to right the wrongs so everybody can be treated equally,
Mm-hmm.
then we're going to continue to have these conversations, unfortunately, because that's where it starts. It starts in the black and white, and I'm talking about the Constitution and the laws and the mandates and all that stuff. And so on the enforcement side, we don't make the laws. We only enforce them.
Right.
So, people have to understand that. There's a difference between someone who is a lawmaker and someone who is a law enforcer. There's a difference. But what I wanted to talk specifically on this trial is there's a difference between Judge Bruce Schroeder and Judge Timothy Walmsley. There's a different flow from Wisconsin to Georgia. There's a right and there's a wrong. You pick what's right or wrong, but it's obvious what's the wrong way and what's the right way. And when we're talking about loss of life, like we talked about in our previous episode, when people are more concerned about geese laying in the street compared to someone losing their life, society, we have a problem. And if that same mindset is overlapping or overflowing in a courtroom with a judge, we got a problem.
Man,
we got a problem. But I like to give at this point, man, I'd like to give Mr. Walmsley, Judge Walmsley, I'm watching you. The nation is watching you, because all of the hoopla, with the defense attorney trying to get a mistrial and talk about the Reverend Jesse Jackson being in the courtroom, as a distraction. Like, stick to the facts.
Right.
Stick to the facts of the case. Shouldn't matter who's in that courtroom. If you're prepared to do your job and to represent your client, it shouldn't matter who's in that building.
It's not like he can disrupt the court without being held.
Unless he stands up and starts shouting and screaming and doing cartwheels.
But then he's going to be held in contempt.
Correct. Because the judge has said, listen, these are my rules in my court. If you are not acting accordingly, guess what? I got a bailiff. I got folks in here to get you right.
Yeah.
And even the judge is saying, like, until this defense attorney said anything about who was in the courtroom, he said, I didn't know anything about him being here. He said, but you brought this to light as far as a black pastor being in this courtroom. What does that have to do with anything? But I digress.
So today was an interesting show, man. I'm glad we brought these topics up during this show, though.
Hey, Sue said you still owe him $2 in a sandwich.
I saw that, man. Yeah, I do. But we when I come, we going out to Jersey, Kev.
DJ Sue, what up? Absolutely, we got to.
We going out to Philly, man. We gonna go out there, man, and the sandwich gonna be a Philly cheesesteak.
Yeah, it's got to be.
And the $2 is gonna be tip for that Philly cheesesteak is what.
That's what's up.
So I was actually able to get because some of these things, man, been weighing on my heart. It's because there's so much going on, man, and you try to look for the positives, and there's so many negatives being thrown right now, man. And it's like, where do I see the positives, right? You know what I mean? It's there was a positive that Julius Jones didn't get the needle today, because there's a doubt. Whether he's guilty or not, I don't know.
Right.
But there's a doubt. So it worked. You know what I mean? This time it worked. It may not have worked. It might not have worked for as good as people wanted it. Right? They wanted him to be released, but he did not get the needle. It worked. Now, it may have not worked 30 years ago whenever he got, when he was 19 years old.
Mm-hmm.
But it worked this time. So it's like you don't throw the whole car away because it sputters sometimes. You know what I mean? I mean, we can't throw it away, but you get the car fixed.
Yeah, you definitely need to throw that boy in the shop, though. That's for sure.
You get it examined and you get it repaired. You get it fixed. Our system is sputtering sometimes.
Yes, sir.
It still functions. It just sputters. And when it sputters, we need to take it to the shop and let the professionals dig into it and find out what's making it sputter and then fix what's making it sputter.
Agreed.
You have to do it. Now, I'm not in a position to be able to do it. Kale, right now, you're not in a position to be able to do it. But this is what we can do, is to put the perspectives out there so that hopefully somebody will look at it, right? I mean, people already know this ain't nothing new.
Facts.
But we got to talk about it. we have to voice it. We have to say, look, it still ain't fixed. It's still sputtering. It's still bang every time, I turn the corner. Somebody think I'm shooting.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because the car's jacked up, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not. We need to work to get it better, right? Because there is no such thing as perfection.
I agree.
But it can be better. We can continually improve. Good enough is not good enough right now.
No, sir.
Well enough is not good enough.
Correct.
Let's work on that. So, Kale, what you got in closing, bro?
Man, just just everybody, man, just be mindful, man. Just be mindful and stay prayed up, man, and just be careful when you're out here moving around, man, because you never know what you might walk into or what someone else is going through. So just stay prayed up, man, and be careful and especially we're moving into the holiday season, man, and I'm sure probably our next episode or two we'll be talking about holiday tips, but it starts now. After Halloween, man, we move into that season, man. So this is the time frame where there's an uptick in crime because of Thanksgiving and Christmas and stuff and New Year. So just be aware, all the ladies and the young ladies and the young men and the OGs, just be aware of your surroundings, man, at all times, and stay prayed up, keep faith in yourself, man, and go out there and be great.
Absolutely, Kale. So next Thursday, our normal show day is Turkey Day.
Mm-hmm.
So chances are not high that I'm gonna be in the condition to have a show. So
yeah, you and me both.
Right. We may do a little pre-little something, you know what I mean, to send to y'all, but don't expect us to be live next Thursday. So I want to close with, whether you celebrate Thanksgiving or not, I am thankful for the opportunity to be able to speak to y'all with my brother that we've been rocking for 35 plus years, right?
Yes, sir.
And it's an honor for me to be able to rock in this manner with you, Kale.
Absolutely, bro.
Therapy for me, and I'm thankful for this therapy and ability to spread this knowledge, information that the Lord allowed us to possess and present. So
absolutely,
I'm thankful. That's my Thanksgiving Turkey Day. You know what I mean? Thankfulness.
Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Like, follow, share, subscribe in that order.
Absolutely. And we're the Perspective 217, and we're out.